Hi, everybody, and welcome to Intermediate Accounting 206 at Santa Ana College. This is our fall semester, and this is the second semester of Intermediate Accounting, with Accounting 205 being the first semester. And here is the syllabus. Um, as you see, it's here's my name. I'm Steve Wilson. Here's your ticket number, 46049. This course will be deployed entirely online. However, I have provided some optional extra credit Saturday morning tutoring sessions from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock where you can bring me any questions you might have. And we'll talk more about that later in the syllabus. My email address is here. It's Wilson_Stephen at sac.edu. That's my preferred method of contact. However, I've provided my cell phone number here, and oftentimes, which I welcome, please feel free to call me to ask more complex questions. Okay, no scheduled class meetings. This course is 3 units, and it's continuing in-depth studies of non-current assets and liabilities. I think you will find that quite interesting and revealing. The table of contents, as shown here, have these convenient hyperlinks where you can zip back and forth to any section of the syllabus you want, as the syllabus is, 15, 16 pages or something like that. All right, let's look. Zoom and tutoring overview. I talked quickly about that, but here, this is deployed via Zoom. Very easy. I'll show you when we get to the course how you get to those sessions. A simple click on the Tech Connect Zoom link here will take you to that session. Okay, you can earn up to 20 points of extra credit by participating in these tutoring sessions, and I think they'll help you far beyond just those extra credit points. Okay, mission statements, I'll let you read those on your own. Course learning objectives and student learning objectives. Outcomes, I'll let you read those on your own. Here's our required textbook. This is the publisher is Wiley Company, and it's a beautiful, although heavy, textbook. Most of you have already had that textbook in the Intermediate Accounting 205 class that we did both in the spring and the summer of this time. We'll use that same text again in the spring of 2025. All right, here it is. If you have not previously purchased the textbook, which I think most of you already have, the textbook last I priced was $154. But if you have already purchased the textbook for the previous 205 class, or for that matter, Saddleback's 1A course, you would just need to add on this $76.95 addition to that. Okay, and that will give you the access codes you need to get into a Wiley Plus. There is a 2-week trial available for Wiley, and you do get the ebook. So if money's a little short, there's no reason to delay at all starting your homework assignments. It's critical in a complex course such as this to hit the ground running. Okay, now if I look at creating a student account, this pretty much gives you everything you need to know to do that. Again, most of you are familiar with Wiley Plus, so it should be very easy to do. There really isn't a Wiley technical support number available. There is, however, website support, but if there are technical issues, I will get in touch with the Wiley technical support person that is assigned to me, and we'll one way or the other, we'll figure it out. Okay, course policies and procedures. I think you'll find them very similar to what I did in 205. I am anticipating you'll have at least some computer proficiency in Microsoft Office, and of course reliable access to internet. Canvas will be used for communicating all our class points, the announcements, and other information. Electronic devices during exams, unless are not allowed, I will give you some options involving what you can use on exams, and we'll talk about that later. Calculators, good idea to have a simple, calculator, one that just adds and subtracts and multiplies and divides, that kind of thing. Pretty straightforward. There's no requirement for study groups or anything like that, but I do think that they are very helpful, but those collaborations are totally optional. If you do want to email me, it's a good idea to put these words in bold here in the subject field. I teach at a variety of colleges and universities, and that way I can narrow in on who you are and what course you're taking. Okay, access to Canvas. Canvas is one of the course management systems that we use at Santa Ana College. And there's all sorts of videos that I've provided in the course if you're unfamiliar with with Canvas and what you can do to shore that knowledge up if you feel you need it. Canvas technical support, by the way, is great. They're there 24/7. There's no problem getting in touch with them, and here are the phone numbers here for that purpose. Due dates are pretty much posted in the modules and at the end of this syllabus, which I will show you in a few minutes here. Please feel free to work ahead. If one of these serious life issues do happen to you, I'm fairly flexible, especially with this course, because I know you guys need to learn this. Please give me a phone call, not a text, but a phone call, and we'll work something out. Okay, withdrawals from the course. I don't automatically drop anybody from the course. If you feel you have to drop, please do it yourself. Okay. I am, however, required to drop you if you don't submit the first assignments. And we'll talk about those in a second. Those are pretty easy. But other than that, I will not drop you from the course. Failing withdrawals, I'll let you read about that. That's a situation, where perhaps someone has registered for this course for monetary gain as opposed to understanding the subject matter content. And I don't think there's anybody in that category, so I won't belabor that point. Admissions and records office, be sure you keep your up-to-date contact information. Very important. If I need to get you, I usually at the end of the course, it's good if I can get you quickly and we can work out the problem. Normally, that's something that will be in your best interest. But if I can't get in touch with you, I will make the best decision I can. Ethical responsibility, I think that goes without saying, that cheating of any kind is not tolerated. And you can look in more depth in the Santa Ana College student code of conduct. Okay, here's our points. There's 4 exams worth 200 points each, and that's mostly multiple choice. There's exercise homework worth 220 points, problems homework worth 330 points, and then IFRS exercises and problems worth 90 points, and our icebreaker and syllabus quiz are worth 10 points at the very beginning of the course. But there's also extra credit, and I talked a little bit about tutoring being extra credit, but the big one that I really encourage you to do are these adaptive learning assignments. And they are individualized and personalized learning. So they know where you're weak and where you're strong, and they try to focus on the weaker points to bring you up to speed. You get 10 points per chapter, so there's a possibility of 110 extra credit points. Really, really helpful. I think well beyond those points, they help you do well on the exams, on the homework, on the problems, etc. So highly encourage you to do it. Takes about 30 to 40 minutes per chapter. Then I also have some CPA practice problems. Most of you are looking to sit for the CPA test eventually. And here we have some actual problems that help you ready for that. Again, extra credit, but there's some 82.5 possible extra credit points for doing those CPA practice problems. Okay, I give you 5 attempts on those CPA problems, and we'll get to that in a second. And so I highly encourage you to do all that. Those extra credit assignments do distort the Canvas percentages. So it's not the percentage that determines your final grade, it's going to be your points. So what I'm going to do is, you see by this points allocation grading here, everything's based on the regular points here, right? What I do is I take how many points you've earned, both extra credit and regular points, and then divide by the regular points. That'll give you your true percentage. Okay, and so our standard grades based on 90, 80, 70, 60%, etc. Right, assignments here. Now, so let's look at what we're going to be covering. We'll be covering chapters 13 to 23 in the textbook package. Required homework from all these chapters will be covered during the semester and outlined on page 14 and 15 of this syllabus. The Falls 2024 Accounting 206 course assignments by due date. All right. And then assignment changes. Every now and then we have to do an assignment change. I will publish that and talk about it in the tutoring sessions so that you see that easily. Okay. Every now and then we have to change the dates as well. We had a fire a couple of years ago where I had to redo the whole schedule and that kind of thing. So, it's imperative that you spend a great deal of time outside of the class mastering this material. I think you guys know that by now as you are pretty much understand the requirements of counting. But I would plan to spend at least 2 hours for every instructional video hour that we have for preparing these assignments. That looks like a good place for us to end this video. And when we return, we'll continue on with the chapters covered. Until that time, bye for now.